Good morning, church. It's Jordan. I'm here with a Monday morning devotional. I hope all of you had a great rest of your day yesterday. I enjoyed talking to you about the authority of peace and our Prince of Peace and why we need a ruler of peace in our lives and why Jesus is so amazing as our ruler and why it is so wonderful that we are in submission before him. We are part of his dominion, and we're not people who are out trying to figure out how to be peaceful on our own, because that doesn't lead to anything good. So I hope that was helpful to you. I would love for the opportunity to pray with you, chat with you, encourage you. I know the elders team would as well. So if there is something in your life that is disrupting your peace and you'd love to bring that to God, we'd love to go with you in prayer. And so feel free to email us, elders at cedarspringsnw.com. And we can arrange for a call or a meetup and can spend some time with you in prayer. Speaking of prayer, we have our regular Sunday morning meeting at 8:30. We had a couple of new faces this week. I think we are right around 6 to 10 people every Sunday morning, 8:30 to 9:15. You can sneak in or out if you have another service or a role that you're playing in our Sunday gatherings, and we certainly are willing to have you with us for however long we can. So we'd love to see more of you show up. All right, this morning we're going to be continuing in our series of devotionals about God. When I presented the idea in the elders meeting, actually I was thinking about a sermon series just about God. They're kind of like, could you narrow it down for us a little bit? For them, like it's about God, like that's pretty focused. God just happens to be really big, and so we're doing this as a devotional, and we've covered a few different things: God's creativity, God's power, and a few other things these past couple weeks. I want to talk about a verse from 1 John, and it's verse 5. Let me read this to you. 1 John 1, verse 5, I should say. This is the message we have heard from him and proclaim to you, that God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. I'll read that again. This is the message we have heard from him, this is Jesus, and proclaim to you that God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. I love this thought, and it's a single verse, although there's other verses that sort of speak to this, but I love pausing for a moment and giving God credit as being God without any darkness at all. That he is pure in the maximal sense of the word. If you were to turn pure up to 11, God is further yet than that. God is so holy. God is light is the phrasing here. And that idea is so foreign to us. If you stop for a moment just to think about it, and you stop to sort of contemplate what something that has absolutely no flaw, no sin, no darkness, no compromise, no fault, no mean streak, no one thing where you may point and say, there is some darkness in you. It's something that is beyond our comprehension, I think. I don't know that we can fully grasp that of God. I think we can taste and we can see, as the Bible says, God's goodness, and we can see the light that he brings. But just the idea of God being without any darkness whatsoever, the perfect light, the light that has no limitation, should be profound for us. It should make us desire to be holy. It should make us desire to be more like him, to be more creatures of his light, people who are standing in the light and who have allowed his light to purify us. So much of what we experience in life that we view as good has some compromise in its goodness. It's not perfectly good. Every time I get up and teach on a Sunday morning, I teach, and I hopefully I represent a journey with Jesus Christ that is worth following, but I also am teaching as a flawed person. I still sin. I still have shortcomings. I still am imperfect. And as much as I would love for that not to be the case, it is. And that's true for everyone. Anybody, no matter how good they seem, has some compromise in their light, except for God, except for his son, Jesus Christ. And that's worth pondering. That's worth dwelling on. It's worth offering up prayers and praise of thankfulness for, that our God has never and will never compromise who he is. There will never be a time when he is anything less than the perfect light without even the hint of a blemish or fault. And a few things that I would challenge you with this week. First, I would suggest to pause for a moment and think about how you view God and his holiness and his perfection. I know for me sometimes I compromise in my view of God. I'll allow my mind to somehow think that God is less perfect than he really is. He is less fully light than he really is. I will think in some dark part of my mind that if God did this a little bit differently, it might be better. I don't fully grasp why God does it this way, and I think he should do it this way. His way seems a little unfair or a little unjust. And I think we all have those thoughts, and I think we have to stop for a moment and pause and just allow us to step back into that light and say, God, you are perfect. And those thoughts, because they assail your perfection, are imperfect, and I need you to cleanse me of them. So I hope that encourages you this week. It's a thought to marvel over as you think about all of the wonderful people in your life, all of the wonderful things in your life, all of the most wonderful and good causes in your life and that you've experienced or heard about, and then step back for a moment and acknowledge God is unfathomably greater than that, unfathomably more pure than that, and the purest of all lights, and there is no darkness in him. I hope that encourages you this week. Again, I'm just hoping that I can spend some time each week for the next several just to continue to develop a richer pattern and picture and palette for you to reflect on God with. I think, again, this is going to be something we can spend eternity doing joyfully and with wonderful excitement because of how amazing he is. And so I would love to sort of start that journey a little bit more here today. I think it's a great use of our time. I love you all. I look forward to seeing you this coming week. We've got our Sunday service. I think this Sunday we're also doing the kids' play, Christmas play, so tell your friends about that. And just a lot of wonderful things happening in the family. So stay tuned and look forward to being back together this coming weekend. Bye, everyone.